Hello and welcome back to Tokyo. I'm going to be exploring more of the city sights today, and if you saw my previous video you will know that I went to Sensoji, Shibuya and Shinjuku, all fantastic areas if you've just arrived and you want to have that classical Tokyo introduction. And because Tokyo is so big, there's no way I'm going to be able to finish covering all the places that you can see in this video. Think of it more as a continuation of the previous one. Yoyogi Park is in fact one of the best places in Tokyo to go for hanami, cherry blossom viewing. But now that we are just outside of the season, there's no longer much cherry blossom around. It's a little bit late in the spring. So if you come here during the cherry blossom season, then Yoyogi Park is one of the best places in the capital for hanami. Arguably one of the most interesting things when you visit Japan is the people watching and just observing how the Japanese go about their lives. And in a park you really see how connected they are with the gentle and relaxing side of life, in terms of just taking picnics on the grass and walking their dogs, teaching their children how to ride bikes. And they're basic things, but just seeing them in action in a park as beautiful as this shows you why the quality of life here is so good and life expectancy is so high. Even though we're located right between Shibuya and Shinjuku, two of the busiest and most frenetic neighborhoods of the most populated city in the world. So here we have a social area for dogs. This pen is for larger dogs, and the one on the right here is for small to medium sized. They actually have the weight. They can come and socialize, make friends, run around. It's really cool. So a short walk from Yoyogi Park is the must-visit Meiji Shrine, which occupies a large area. It's a beautiful walk, very serene. It takes you completely out of the city of Tokyo. It's named after Emperor Meiji, who was emperor during one of the most pivotal moments in Japan's history, the Meiji Restoration. It's also built in honor of his wife, the Empress Shokan, and they oversaw a period of great change in Japan, from an agricultural, samurai-based society, you could say, to a modern, industrial, 20th century power. And they ruled from 1868 to 1912, and by the end of their rule, Japan had completely changed from an isolationist state to a powerful, modern nation. As you walk towards the Shinto shrine, it is beautiful just to soak in the surroundings. So walking in here, what I think stands out for me the most at this Shinto shrine, and I'm sure it will be the case for many of the others that I visit across the country, like in Kyoto, for example, is the way that it's simplistic and subtle and combines with the nature around it. So the whole shrine is made with wood, and you can see that beautiful color of brown matching with the trees and then the greenery. The religion is ancient. It dates back thousands of years in Japan, predates Buddhism, which is the other main religion in the country. Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines, that's what you'll find here. So if you want to make a wish at the shrine, then here is what you need to do. Firstly, you need a denomination of yen, a coin, whether that's 10 or 50, that's your choice. Then once you walk up to the shrine, you need to put your coin in, then you bow twice and clap twice. Then you make your wish, hold it, and then bow once more before leaving. You'll see lots of tourists doing it as well as Japanese, so anybody is allowed to go up and make their wish. You can also buy one of these wooden blocks and write your wishes on there. I pray for health and happiness for me and my family. Some of them obviously in Japanese, I cannot read that. I wish for the health and safety of my family. You can see people writing them here. And then they hang them around the tree. While visiting here, I was lucky enough to spot a traditional Japanese wedding. Obviously, a lot of tourists were around taking pictures, but it was still very interesting to see for the first time. Even though there are a lot of people around, it's still nice and quiet. People respect the noise levels of Japan. Most tourists behaving themselves. The country sets the standard for the behavior of its visitors. So I've now left the Meiji Jingu Shrine and back on the streets of Tokyo, and I'm just a couple of minutes walk away outside Takeshita Street, which is one known across Japan, especially amongst young people, for being full of trendy clothes shops and different places to eat and cafes. And you can just see how busy it is today on a Saturday afternoon, of course. I'm going to walk down it now, and hopefully it won't be too crowded and I can give you a little bit of a taste before hopping over to another district which you really have to go to, called Akihabara, but we'll get to that after having a walk through here. Lots of fancy clothes for dress up, samurai or even cosplay kind of stuff, very cool. Santa Monica crepes, huge queues. Strawberry fetish, you can see on the other side there. So that was pretty interesting. There's a lot of people playing dress up around, young people, and I think this whole area here, as I come out, is all one large shopping district of Tokyo. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get back on the metro and head to Akihabara, which compared to this will blow everything out of the water, and it is like the anime, manga, cosplay area of Tokyo. And here we are after 45 minutes or so on the metro. I am now here in Akihabara, which hits you as soon as you walk out of the metro station, the bright lights. It feels almost like something from Blade Runner 2044 or the game Cyberpunk 2077. It feels like the future walking around. So I'm going to show you this area and tell you a little bit more about it. I did mention before that it is associated with anime, manga, cosplay, and everything in between. So one of the things you'll find dotted around Akihabara are maid cafes. You pay a fee and you go inside and you sit and they dance and sing, and something a lot of people like to do while they're here. I think you can pay around 3,000 yen maybe, or possibly less, possibly more. Sit there for an hour, drink a coffee, soak it in. It could be a bit of fun. Part of the Akihabara experience, you could say, is going into one of the sex supermarkets. This one behind me is very famous. It's called Pop Life. Let me tell you, keep going up the floors, go down to the basement. I've seen stuff in there that I've not seen in Paris, Amsterdam, or Berlin. There's something for every fetish, and you might be shocked at some of the things that you find. So if you're intrigued, make sure you head in and get your Tokyo souvenir while you're here. So obviously collectibles are a big thing. Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, you name it. You can buy various first editions and nice versions of different cards. So I think for a lot of people, Akihabara is the Tokyo that you have in mind before you visit. Completely different to what I showed this morning. And I love these crossings where everybody goes at the same time. Obviously we saw some of that in the previous video. So this area is a bit of a sensory overload at times, and it is just full of electronics, gaming, arcades, along with the anime, manga aspect too. And you'll also find like little ramen places around. Wandering around Akihabara, this is an area that you will not get bored by, especially if you're the kind of person who is obsessed with modern Japanese culture, whether that is collectible cards, action figures, gaming, magazines, anime, manga, all the things associated with what we typically think of as being kind of unique to Japan over the last 60-70 years, the boom that it's had. Everything associated with that subculture, geek subculture, because this really is the heart of where all these subcultures originate from. Good morning and welcome back to Tokyo. I'm starting today here at Tsukiji Market, which is a great place to come and grab breakfast in the mornings. The market gets very busy here in the morning, so the earlier that you come, the better. Some of the fish that you might see on sale here: sashimi, oyster, prawns, monkfish liver, fatty tuna, eel. Alright, so it's a bit crowded here, but I've picked up something to eat. I have salmon, sashimi, and some oysters as well. I'm obsessed with sashimi, I'm obsessed with sushi, so it's great to be able to try it fresh here in the market in the morning. Let's start with the oyster first. These are absolutely enormous oysters, by the way. Look at that. Beautiful. People either love them or hate them, and I'm on the love side. Next up, let's try the salmon sashimi, the raw salmon. So fresh, really great texture to sashimi, but it's not for everybody again. Sushi is a must try in general, but to have it fresh here in the market is even better. This spot on the corner here is called Yamacho. It's very popular for its rolled egg omelets. There's a famous beef and rice bowl place here. Lots of people eating it outside. Take a look at the huge broth where it's cooking here. So as I was walking around, I just stopped by this place around the corner here, doing something called a monja. It's a standard croquette made with Worcester sauce, fried in batter, and then on top there's spicy fish eggs, and it was the pink that caught my eye as I was walking past, so here we go. This is very messy with one hand, but wow, that is good. So much flavor. It's going everywhere. I need to put my camera down, but stop by this place. I saw lots of Japanese people here and not tourists, which is also partly the reason I thought it's got to be worth a try. I'm just outside the market now, and I'm finishing off with some matcha, which is a must try if you're in Japan. A very famous, beautiful drink. It's finely grounded green tea. You can have it hot, iced, in a latte, in a cappuccino. You can find it in different desserts here. It is everywhere throughout the country, but I'm having it without milk or sugar, just iced here. And it has a really nice natural taste to it, far less bitter. So I have hopped over on the metro to Tokyo Tower. I haven't seen it yet and I wanted to take a look. I thought while I'm here I will walk around it a little bit and just go through a couple of other things that I've done here in Tokyo that I haven't had time to vlog about in this video. I've just gone there myself and taken shots, so I'll overlay each one as I talk about them. And so I'll start with the National Museum, which has the world's largest collection of Japanese art, and it is next to Yoyogi Park, which is also worth strolling around. But inside it'll take you through from ancient Japanese history all the way to the Meiji Restoration. And so you'll find everything in there, from samurai costumes and samurai swords to ancient Buddhist sculptures, paintings, calligraphy, letters written by previous shoguns, works of poetry by former emperors. It takes a while to go through everything, and maybe you want to opt for this museum on a rainy day. If there's any museum in Tokyo that you shouldn't miss, this one would be it. Another place here in Tokyo that I recommend you reserve a ticket for before you even come, because it sells out quite quickly, is Team Lab, which is an immersive experience in different environments. Some rooms have orchid plants that are moving and you sit down and walk through them. Another with koi projected on the floor as you work your way around a room with water up to your knees. There is also one where you lie on the floor and look up towards these moving flowers, this beautiful universe above you, and it feels as if you are floating through some kind of alternative space. So it's a really amazing experience to go to Team Labs, and I highly recommend that you get yourself a ticket while you're here, book it in advance. It is in Tokyo Harbor, which is a different area of the city, so visiting Team Labs will give you a chance to see that part of Tokyo too. Additionally, you have the Imperial Palace, which is one of the world's largest fortresses. This one is a little bit trickier to get tickets for. You have to get them on the day. You cannot reserve them online or on the website, and you turn up an hour or two before the opening time. There are 2 opening times, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and if you're lucky enough to win a spot, then you will get a guided tour through some of the complex, because most of it is actually still closed to tourists because it's still the residence of the Emperor of Japan. I just saw it from the outside. It's very close to Tokyo Main Station, which is also worth a look in because it's a beautiful old building. Another thing you might like to do is to get a sky view of Tokyo at night. That could be going up the Tokyo Tower. It could be the one just by where I'm staying, the Tokyo Sky Tree. Also, I'd like to add, if you missed the previous video, I showed Sensoji as well as Shibuya, the famous scramble crossing, and Shinjuku, a thriving nightlife area. All of those are worth visiting, along with the things that I've also shown in this second video. It goes without saying that there are numerous other areas and sites that I haven't mentioned or been to in this video, and that's because there's just not enough time to see everything. And I've just shown some of the most well-known places, things that you can get started with. If there's anything obvious that you think I've missed, then please leave it in the comments below. And I will leave it there for now. I am going to be leaving Tokyo and heading outside of the big city to some other places in Japan, starting with Hakone and then towards Mount Fuji. So get ready for the next video, and I will see you then. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to give this video a like, and stay tuned for more coming from this fascinating country. Peace.